Sports Yard Olympics here in Warwick, Rhode Island. I'm Nick LeBlanc. This is TitleTown Throwdown. Even though we're on location, it's been a while since we've been on location, really, if you think about it. But we're on location. Still a lot of business to cover today. We got the Red Sox going into the All-Star break in first place, not only in the American League East right now, but also they have the best record in the American League after the Yankees shut out the Astros last night 4-0. So we're going to get into that. Some moves that the Red Sox should be making at the trade deadline as that approaches at the end of the month. Shohei Ohtani, he's going to be making history at the MLB All-Star Game as well. We're going to get into that as well, too, along with some Patriot update news. N'Keal Harry has requested a trade. For whatever reason, he has requested a trade. I don't know why. What team in the right mind will take his sorry ass? But watch over the Red Sox. And so my first question is this. Raise your hand if you thought that the Boston Red Sox would be in first place, 55-34, heading into the All-Star break. Now put your hand down because you're lying to yourself. Because no one saw this coming at all from the Boston Red Sox, okay? I didn't either. I thought the Red Sox would be like 500, around there, maybe a game or two over, a game or two below, but somewhere hovering around 500, trying to chase down the Yankees and the Rays, the Astros, the A's, the White Sox. No, whoever was in the wild card. And honestly, the first 3 games of the season, you got your ass swept by Baltimore. I thought, well, there goes the baseball season. This team's going to suck. This team's going to blow. This guy's going to get traded here. That guy's going to get traded there. 55-31 later, here we are. After the 0-3 start, the Boston Red Sox are in first place in the American League East with 2 games to go before the deadline. 2 games to go before the break. And then they come back, and look, the schedule coming back is not good. You play almost the 3 teams that you need to beat in the AL East in order to win this division. You got the Yankees for 4 right out of the break. So your All-Star break's only about 3 days. Then you got the Blue Jays. Then the Yankees come back to town. Got the Blue Jays again. Then you got the Rays. It is such a tough schedule grind after the break that you need to beat this Philadelphia team right now. Win today, win tomorrow, and go. All right? Like, you want to be in first place, firmly in place, so that way when you face the Yankees again, because you're going to face the Yankees 8 times within the next 14 games. 4 games in New York, 4 games in Boston. Almost back-to-back weekends. Back-to-back weekends. Because next weekend, you're in New York for 4, Thursday to Sunday. Yankees come here Thursday to Sunday. So right then and there, you already got a tough task. And the Yankees, they've been stuttering. The Yankees have a good week here. They got a bad week here. Oh, and not to mention, you are 6-0 against the New York Yankees. You've won the last 7 games against New York after going 1-9 against the Yankees last season. And it was a pathetic 1-9, first off. And between the Yankees and Rays last year, you only won 4 games. You only won 4 games. You went 4-16 between the 2 teams last year. So far this year, 6-0 against the New York Yankees. You played the Rays about 9 times, and you're about 6-3, 7-2 against the Tampa Bay Rays. Not bad. Not pretty bad. Not bad at all. Blue Jays, you're being up on the Blue Jays as you should be, but Toronto has a strong lineup. And you're beating up on the Baltimore Orioles after the first god-awful weekend, as you should be beating up on the Orioles, as every team in the American League should be beating up on the Baltimore Orioles, but especially you after that pathetic opening weekend sweep. But I'm not going to sit here and bash the Red Sox as a whole team. I'm not. Because they have played consistently well all season long. Now, they've got some issues. TJ Hernandez, he seems to be getting comfortable with the leadoff spot, but that's still in question because gone through TJ, he went through Franchi, he went through Chavis. I think he even went through Christian Royal at one point. You've had so many guys interchangeable at that leadoff spot, you don't know who the hell's going to lead off right now. Right now it's TJ Hernandez, and he's doing fantastically right now. He's in a good stretch. You want to leave him in that good stretch. Another issue that you have is the starting rotation. Nathan Eovaldi has probably been your best starter. Dan Richards blows. Eduardo Rodriguez, he's been up and down, at least, to be nice. Pavetta, he's a workhorse, but he eats innings for the bullpen. He eats the innings. So he's a grinder type guy. He's good one start, bad another, but that's all right. That's okay. That's all right. But Pavetta is a grinder. You knew what you're getting from him when he came over from Philadelphia last season. So you look at the rotation as a whole. Chris Sale's due back soon. You don't know how he's going to be on an innings limit and a pitch count. So we don't know if he's going to be in the rotation or coming out of the bullpen. Turner Houck, he's working his way back. He could make a good spot in the rotation too. But please, if I have to watch Garrett freaking Richards give up another 3 to 4 runs in the first 2 innings again at any point this season, I'm going to lose my goddamn marbles. Because this guy, he had one good month, and it was the month of May. Since then, since they started cracking down on the sticky stuff, Garrett Richards has blown with the capital blown. Him and Matt Andrees should start a club saying, the Blown Pitcher Club. Matt Andrees sucks. All right, I'm being a little nicer to Richards, saying that he just blows. I'm going all in Matt Andrees. He sucks. A 5.70 ERA. He gave up another 2 runs last night to let Philadelphia try to crawl their way back into it. Oh, mind you, it was 11-3. It was 11-3 when he came in. Final score was 11-5. So there you go. His ERA got inflated more. I don't know why Corey keeps going back to this guy. Andrees sucks. He can't throw the ball over the plate. He can't pitch consistently. He leaves meatballs right there for the pitchers to go, whee! It's ridiculous. So Matt Andrees, I don't know what team would want to take him in his god-awful ERA. But then you said, we all probably said the same thing about Brandon Workman. Red Sox took back his ass, and he has a 1.54 ERA with the Red Sox. It's lowered his season ERA to 3.36, which is great. He had a 6.70 ERA with the Cubs, which is so great. It's great. Brandon Workman's worked out well for this team this year because he started his mechanics right. He also spent time in Worcester, too, when he first came back. Am I saying send Jared Richards down there? No, you can't because Giant Bloom, being an idiot that he is, gave him $10 million. Matt Andrees, you're only paying him $2.1 million for the year, so he's going to be a rental player no matter what. But I want my $2 million back. Matt Andrees sucks. He sucks. No, look. Can I barely throw the ball over the plate? Barely. Hardly. I'm lucky if it bounces at the plate. But at least I can try to locate a pitch where a guy won't be able to hit it and smash it 330 feet, either over the wall or off the wall, and 2 runs will score. That's how bad Matt Andrees has been. The first month of the year, he was great. He looked like a competent reliever that the Red Sox needed. Since then, sucked, and more suck. Look, does that say is a definition of the bullpen as a whole? No, you're not an all-star closer, Matt Barnes, who has had a fantastic season this year. I don't think I saw that one coming. Matt Barnes had a fantastic year. I wanted his ass out of here a couple of years ago at the deadline because he just could not close a game to save his life. Now Matt Barnes is an all-star closer, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy that Matt Barnes is an all-star closer. Don't get me wrong. Garrett Whitlock, he's been fantastic. Adam Ottavino, he's been up and down, but he's been pretty consistent, though. He's figured it out. Josh Taylor, he hasn't given up a run in his last, 5, 6, 7 appearances? Oh, my God. What more do you need from Josh Taylor? Really good. They've been really, really good, with the exception of one. And his name is Matt Andrews, number 35. It's ridiculous. So, I don't know how much more Matt Andrews I can take. I don't know how much more Garrett Richards I can take. Garrett Richards is horrible. So is Matt Andrews. My God. I don't know Garrett's ERA off the top of my head, but it's in the 4s. It's high in the 4s. Matt Andrews' ERA is near 6. It's near 6. You want that in your bullpen? No, thank you. I'm ready to ship his ass out right now. Now, look, I would like to get a Craig Kimbrell back here. Craig Kimbrell's ERA with the Chicago Cubs is a .57. It's under a run. What reliever has an ERA under a run right now? They did what pitcher in baseball has an ERA under 2, under 2.5? 10, 15 years ago, when there was a good balance in the league, a pitcher's ERA, if it was like a 3-something, would be considered like a down season for that guy. Now, if a guy has like a 2.5, 3 ERA, that's considered good. And it's sad because you see all these balls being hit hard, either over the wall, off the wall, and all these guys scoring. Especially ever since they stopped these pitchers, they cracked down on them with the sticky stuff. You've seen some guys actually perform better without it, and then you've seen guys just absolutely blow without it. AKA Garrett Cole. Did you see his last start against the Red Sox a couple weeks ago in Boston? The first pitch he threw, TJ Hernandez took it to the first row of the monster seats. And that set the tone for the rest of the game. And it really did. So, as a whole, what grade would I give the Boston Red Sox? I'd give them a solid B+. A team as a whole. Some guys start off pretty slow, but they picked it up. There have been some great additions to the team. Adam Ottavino, you stole him from the Yankees. Garrett Whitlock, stole him from the Yankees via the Rule 5 draft. Hunter Renfroe's been a fantastic addition to this team. I didn't think much of Hunter Renfroe. I really didn't. But Renfroe's been a great addition to this team. And you look back a little bit at the trade that Bloom made last February, his first major trade, shipping Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers in exchange for Connor Wong, Jeter Downs, and Alex Verdugo. Well, we saw little glimpse of Connor Wong. Dude can hold his own here. And look, once he gets up to the big leagues, it's probably going to take him a little bit to catch up to the pitching. I saw him down in Worcester a couple weeks ago. Is he the best hitter? No, he doesn't really have the best. Although, it's hard contact. It's not soft contact. It's hard contact, and he does run down the baseline. So he does give a crap. He does care. He just can't hit consistently good. Jeter Downs, you don't know what you got out of him yet. I saw him in Worcester as well. He's struggling too. So am I ready to say give up on Connor Wong and Jeter Downs? No, I'm willing to stick in with Connor Wong. Jeter Downs, I'd trade him for the right price. But this team needs a big reliever, right? But if it's going to cost you Jarren Duran, forget about hang up the phone. If you need to get a big piece, it's going to cost you Jarren Duran. Bloom fires trades Duran for any rental piece. his ass needs to be fired right away. If Jaron Duran's name is even mentioned once in a trade, here's what you gotta do with the phone. Hang up. Hang up the phone because it's not gonna work. It ain't gonna happen, honey. No way. No, thank you. I'll give you Jeter Downs, maybe Turner Wong, maybe some of that. Jaron Duran, no, not giving up Jaron Duran. Why? Because he's probably gonna be here in like the next 2 to 3 weeks, at the very least. He did go to the USA Olympic team, even though he wanted to do that, but he understands the Red Sox want him to focus on his defense and his development in the system. Why? Because, Jaron, you're going to get called up real soon. We just got to dump someone's ass. If we had to dump a Matt Andrees, so be it. So be it. All right. Want to switch gears here a little bit to now talk about Shohei Ohtani of the Angels. This dude's going to be having a monster week. All right. And I really hope Joe Maddon's going to give him an off day tomorrow, or a day off today and tomorrow. Says Ohtani, he's going to be in the home run derby. He plans on hitting and pitching in the All-Star game. Kevin Cash plans to utilize him in both ways. I think it's fantastic. No, why not showcase the biggest star in baseball right now, the biggest star in Japan, and show him your two ways? Let him pitch. Let him hit. Problem is, though, if you take him out of DH, there has to be a special re-entry rule for him to go onto the mound to pitch. Or whether he decides to be the starting pitcher and then hit. No, for him to still be the designated hitter, because that's the issue here, and I'm not sure if baseball's going to bend the rules for that. I think they will, because it's an all-star game. It's a meaningless game. It's an exhibition game. You don't want to pork over guys. No, you don't want to see pitchers get hurt. You also don't want to see players get hurt. So there has to be a special re-entry rule for Ohtani, or Ohtani starts the game as a pitcher, and he's also the quote-unquote designated hitter as well. Just that way he can get both the pitching and the hitting out of the way in the first 2 innings. Or he's a pitcher. You take him out of the first inning. He's still the DH. You can get 2 at-bats, and then you can move on to guys like J.D. Martinez and Nelson Cruz. Something like that. But you got to utilize this guy both ways. He's a phenomenal talent. He already has 34 home runs before the break. We haven't seen a guy like him since Babe Ruth stopped being a hitter and pitcher after 1919. And we all know what happened prior to the 1919 season, or after that. The Red Sox sold him to the Yankees. Henceforth, the curse of the Bambino for 86 years. Red Sox didn't win again until 2004. And now 4 World Series championships now. Still one for the Yankees. Yeah, I think now in the new millennium, that's worked out pretty well for the Boston Red Sox. Not so much for the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees have won 2 World Series in this millennium, 2000 and 2009. But the Red Sox, 04, 13, 04, 07, 13, 18, 2021, maybe. I don't know. But you got to utilize Shohei Ohtani, though, to go back on topic. And you all know me. I love to get off topic. I love to get off topic. I love it. But especially with Shohei Ohtani, though. So Kevin Cash has a very interesting thing to do here. Will he, A, start Shohei Ohtani as both the starting pitcher and the designated hitter? Or will Ohtani hit first, pitch later? Or will Ohtani pitch first and hit later? One of the two. He can do both. I don't see why not. But baseball has to bend the rules, though, a little bit. There has to be either a special reentry rule for him, or Ohtani, is the pitcher. You lose the DH for the first part of it. Then when you go pitch hit Ohtani, then you put the DH in there. Because you don't want to see, Kevin Cash go through his whole bench. And then you have to see a guy like Matt Barnes or Valdi in an all-star game hit. Because pitchers haven't hit in the All-Star game since 2009. In 2010, they made it universal DH to help protect the pitchers. So the pitchers who are selected, they don't have to worry about grabbing a bat. They could just hit. It was Roy Halladay back in 2009. He wanted to hit. It was the third inning, I believe. He had to borrow a batting helmet and a bat because because the equipment guys they didn't think anything about giving sending Roy Halladay's batting helmet or his bat. Why would he need it? Why would he need it at all at any point in that season? At that point, the Houston Astros are still playing in the National League. So you still had the 16 in the National League, 14 in the American League. That's why you didn't have it there. Now you have it. No, now the leagues are even. So now you need to have this. So I think baseball will make a special rule for Shohei Ohtani. I think they'll give Kevin Cash a little bit of a break. They'll bend the rules or just say screw the rules, F them, and just free range. Because it's an exhibition game for crying out loud. It's an exhibition game. It doesn't mean anything. Because the All-Star game hasn't determined home field advantage in the World Series since 2016. Since then, it's just really been for Brighton Reds and like $1 million bonus for players. That's all it is. But the good thing about it is, and that's what separates the Major League Baseball All-Star game from the All-Star games in like in the NFL, NBA, and NHL. The players still care. They want to win. Like they want to beat the other league. They want to beat the other guys in the league for bragging rights. They want to. They still care. They still want to try and win. In the NHL, you don't see any hitting because the guys are literally trying not to hurt one another. That's why you have like all these 10-8, 12-9 games. In the NBA, they don't even give a crap about defense. They just go whoop, 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 and the final score is like 280 to like 279. And first off, what person in the right mind watches the god awful Pro Bowl? It is the most useless All-Star game in all sports. The Pro Bowl sucks. Major League Baseball All-Star game? No, you got my attention because the players care. The players care. And until the NBA, they just take three-point shots all night long. In football, none of them want to be there. The only All-Stars you don't see are the two teams that are in the Super Bowl. Other than that, all the other players that you see on there, they don't want to be. Why the hell are they there? It's like, why the hell are they suiting up for a meaningless football game? What, to entertain us? I can do without the Pro Bowl. I can do without the Pro Bowl. I can do without the NBA All-Star game. NHL, I like the stills competition. The game itself is done better. The product of the game is done better. Major League Baseball, don't change the damn thing. Just don't change the damn thing. Although it'd be nice if you brought back the World Series home field advantage, though. That'd be nice. All right, going to take a small break here. I need to get some water. But when we come back, N'Keal Harry has requested a trade. What team wants your clown ass? We'll discuss TitleTown Throwdown live from the Yard Olympics Naked Sports here on the Naked Sports and all the fans only sports network. After the break, we're actually going to do Division III Coach of the Year from North Smithfield as a quick interview thing. That's up, and then go into your regular stuff. Yeah, that's fine. What do I click for break? Whatever you want. You don't have your videos? No. Just drop it out. I just have the. Okay. Just drop it out. Just leave up your splash screen.
What's up? It's your boy Mikey, man. I'm gonna jump on to the town throwdown. We're gonna interview Coach Pennington. Is gonna come in the house. You know what I mean? So without further ado, we'll get Coach Pennington in here. Coach Pennington, Nuts, Midfield, Mount St. Charles Co-op. So we'll get Coach Pennington in the house. But before we do that, let's bring in Emerson. Emerson, you got a minute? I wanted to finish up a little with Emerson Kilgore. Before we bring Coach Pennington in, I wanted to talk a little bit more with Emerson. Our stream got cut short, so we're going to put this on the Town Throwdown. How you doing, Emerson? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Before we bring Coach Pennington on, I wanted to bring you back on. 401 Strength and Fitness. You know, you guys got a great gym going. A lot of hatred that's been going on between gyms, between Rhode Island football, and it's just hurting Rhode Island football as a brand. How do we move forward from this?
Well, first, let me just say that, you know, and I know there's been some stuff said about me and my gym, and honestly, it's extremely unprofessional. You know, I'm not going to get into names of who. They know who they are. But that just kind of goes to show you the caliber of people you're dealing with at this style, at that gym. I've always been one to be like, you know what, anyone that's going to put forth effort, you know, get a facility and work with kids, I give them credit. There's plenty of facilities in Rhode Island that are doing something somewhat similar to what I'm doing or similar to what I'm doing, and I give them nothing but credit. I'm not in competition with any of these guys. There's plenty of kids in Rhode Island that need work. God knows that's the truth. And, you know, you get what you get and you work with what you got. To be putting gyms down and, you know, because their business plan is a little bit different than yours and all this, it just goes to show you what type of people you're dealing with, how unprofessional they are, you know, how, you know, and where their mind's at and where their head's at. So, you know, I don't pay it any mind. I think it's silly. I think it's childish. You know, and honestly, if that's the type of caliber people they are, I mean, really, if you look at it from a different perspective, do you really want your student athlete to be around someone like that? You know, I don't get into that. I really haven't said anything because honestly, I'm above that. But you know, it kind of is what it is with those people, and you know, hopefully they can smarten up and realize that there's plenty of kids that can benefit from all of our work, and you know, all of us wanting to make these kids better and not have to put anyone down. So that's basically all I got to really say with that. As far as 401 Strength and Fitness, you know, it's a full gym. I do work general fitness with adults, and I do work football players, all athletes, to be honest with you. I've had soccer players, lacrosse players, young ladies going into the military. You know, you name it, I work them out there and get them ready for their next step or their next level. And that's basically what I'm trying to get done. I want everyone that does sports to be successful, and that's why my gym is there.
That's right. So where can they find your gym if they don't know where it is?
401 Strength and Fitness is located at 400 Warwick Ave, number 7 in Warwick, Rhode Island. And like I said, it's it's a barefoot gym. I do things a little bit different there. You know, as I said earlier, I work on functional strength, so you're gonna be strong through your movements of your sport or your activity. And again, it's gonna get you more flexible. It's gonna get you strong to, you know, do what you need to do on the field, on the court, on the mat, and you know, and to get you as much success as possible. You know, while you're doing what you need to do. So. Because it's something that a lot of gyms actually don't. You know, functional strength is something that it's been around for a long time, but you know, a lot of folks are used to the traditional lifting, which is fine. It does help, but I know being strong through your movements is really what a lot of these college coaches are looking for, and that's what I want to provide. I want to make sure that I have the right environment there that is both you know, competitive yet nurturing in terms of making sure that they're understanding what they're doing and understanding everything that goes into the movements and stuff that I'm showing them. So ultimately, it's a gym that is going to help you get to your next level and really get you where you need to go.
That's right. So you can see Emerson Kilgore pretty soon. You can see him on the Interscholastic League field throwing that yellow flag up in the air. But soon we're also going to do a show where we're going to break down officiating, what goes into it, different plays of the game, why certain calls. Now, we spoke about this. I think this is important to our culture. Everyone needs to be educated. Coach Cook said that and you mentioned that you're still learning every day, every game you're learning something new.
Absolutely, and definitely learn as being an official is that you definitely learn something different every single time. Regardless of my playing experience and my coaching experience, as I was telling the coaches a little while ago, as there's 3 phases to the game of football, which is offense, defense, and special teams. There's also 3 phases to the total game of football. Okay, it's coaching, it's playing, and it's officiating. And everyone, a lot of folks have played. A lot of folks have coached, but few have ever stepped into that 3rd round, which is officiating. And yes, being a player and being a coach, it definitely does help, but being official is definitely different. Obviously, where I am at the umpire position, I'm looking at both the offensive and defensive line, which is where I've been playing my entire life, and coaching it definitely does help. But the intricacies of being an official is definitely something that is a challenge. And honestly, it does take time. I mean, it's just like everything else. Like coaches make mistakes, players make mistakes. Officials are going to make mistakes. That's how it works. I know that obviously we have a thankless job. Either half the team is one team is going to like our call and one team is not, and we definitely understand that going in. You definitely got to have thick skin going into this, but ultimately, the officials, especially here in Rhode Island, are doing the best they can, and we just make sure we do the best job we possibly do for and then to make sure whatever outcome happens, and we just make sure that things are safe there, things are procedures are done right, and teams are doing what they need to do, and yes, there are definitely times where things get you see something and there's a player in front of you and you can't see it exactly. That's just the nature of the beast, and more and more coaches are starting to understand that. And again, we all know football is an emotional game, and every once in a while there is yelling, and both by players and coaches, we do our absolute best to calm that down, and we almost always succeed. But ultimately, we want to let the players play, and obviously we're there, obviously the fraction stuff there, but our job is to make sure the players are, and ultimately that's what we do.
And in all fairness, we don't have a lot of the technology in Rhode Island that other programs have, so we don't have the availability to instant replay and to slow things down frame by frame.
Right.
So everything you see is happening in real time, and it's tough really to get every single call right. But like you said earlier, we were talking off camera, you have to respect the official's ruling.
Right.
You never want to talk down about another official, about a ruling that they made. So people really need to understand it is a thankless job, and there is a need for officials. So if you love sports, no matter what it is, the Interscholastic League, and they need officials. So, you can reach out to Emerson on his social media. He's not a hard man to find. You can see him up on Warwick Ave at his gym, and then you could also see him during the football season. We'll do a weekly show, but we all got to thank Emerson. I mean, he even wears the blue shorts, so he's the true blue. Emerson, we're going to get Coach Pennington in here. Thank you very, very much for coming on, man, and we'll talk soon, man. But get down to see Coach Emerson. I always call him Coach Emerson. Syracuse. I love that nice ring you had, the little bling.
So I also want to give a shout out to you, Mike. I know a lot of folks don't thank you for what you do. This is every opportunity that you get to promote Rhode Island sports and Rhode Island football, and guys that are doing different things. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed. So I thank you for what you've done for me and my businesses over the past year and a half, especially after all this craziness with COVID. I want to thank you for all that you do and continue to do so.
Well, thank you. Emerson's a very well respected man. I go in football circles. people may not know who he is, but they definitely know of Emerson Kilgore, D1 Syracuse University. I mean, the guy played with Vic McNabb. I mean, you played with some legends.
I did. I played with Donovan McNabb. I played against Tom Brady and Michael Vick, as you mentioned, and a lot of other names. I could go into Edwin James and Torrey Holt and Mike Bishop, Peerless Price, Mark Bulger. He played for West Virginia. He ended up playing for St. Louis for a little bit. I mean, a lot of different, and then just the guys I played with. I played with Dwight Freeney. I played with Dave Tyree, Tabucky Jones, Donovan Darius, Kevin Johnson. I played with a lot of guys. I played football with a lot of guys. On the team and against, and my football experience was definitely a tough one. But the one thing I take away from it all is that I got recruited at the Division I level at a time where no one really looked at Rhode Island. And when I was in Syracuse, I was one of 3 guys that was on a roster from Rhode Island. Another 2 were running backs, one from Portsmouth, Mike Cloud, and one from East Providence, Buddy Rogers. And and it just, I look back at that, just to touch upon this real quick, and just see the progress that Rhode Island football's made in the past 15, 20 years, and it's encouraging. I mean, we definitely have a long way to go with something, but we're getting there. And it's taking the village of Rhode Island football to get it done, and it's really starting to happen. It's starting to happen with these younger coaches taking over with fresh ideas and honestly just fresh blood coming in here and really kind of changing up the game to what it used to be. So I give credit to a lot of the guys, all around the state, all these younger coaches that are really getting it done. And honestly, even a couple of coaches that have been around for a little bit that are like, you know what, I'm changing up a little bit and really working. So I mean, the future looks bright for Rhode Island football, and that's honestly all I've really worked for, really wanted to see. And I get done, and and I look forward to working with them both, obviously on the field as an official, and off the field in the gym, getting their players better to get them better for the next year, and ultimately pass high school.
No, you're definitely right. We got Coach Pennington in here today, and he's definitely one of the coaches that's been around a long time, and he's trying to change with the times.
Yes.
So shout out to coaches like him, and I also see a lot of the young coaches. Shout out Coach Cliff Fulton was in here today. Coach Gary Goodhart, first year head coach over at Coventry. Seems like a pretty decent guy, and everybody's going to get hate. I mean, no matter who you are, what coach, you're going to hear things, My instant messages get flooded sometimes. I can't believe the stuff that they make these fake accounts, and I really have to weed through the BS.
Right.
But we have some great coaches and doing great things,
We do, and a lot of them don't get the credit that they truly deserve. But I can see them working. I can see these guys trying to get better. And again, even just the conversation I had today with coaches trying to collaborate and work together. I mean, that's basically unheard of in Rhode Island, and literally, it started happening here. I'm talking to coaches here, and they want to work together with one another. They want to, get their kids better. It's not just about their team; it's about everything as a whole. And that's how Rhode Island football is going to get better. And it's starting, because this is what they do in other states. The guys I played with at Syracuse and coaches I've met over the years, like, this is what they do. They collaborate. They work together. It's not just about their team and like, oh, I'm not going to work with this guy and not work with that guy. That mentality got to change. It's just like the same conversation I had with the gyms. It's like, instead of trying to compete with one another, we should be working together. But unfortunately, guys are stubborn, and they want to puff their chests and be like, oh, I'm the latest and greatest thing. And I'm like, well, you only get to be good, by working with other people. And honestly, this is all about the kids. This isn't about my experience, what I did, because what I've done is already over and done with. It's about getting this next generation of kids, getting them to see the potential, possibly getting them to the next level, and really try to work together. But, again, it's always a battle with egos, and it's always been like that in the state for a little bit. I know it's starting to subside a little bit, but it's still around. But ultimately, that cream's going to rise to the top. These good coaches that are doing good by the kids and working with them and getting them better, working them both academically and on the field, those are the coaches that are going to shine. And ultimately, that's what goes that's what goes to getting a successful program. So, speaking of successful programs, here's Coach Pennington here. I'm going to get going, but again, I just want to thank you for what you do here, Mike, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Coach Pennington in the house. Coach Emerson's gonna check out. Salute to Coach Emerson and all he does. Pennington in the house. North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles Co-op. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. Let me slide over so you can get a.
Rotate. Here's your phone.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's going on up there, North Smithfield?
Well, we're getting ready for another season, and things are winding down. So getting ready for 7-on-7s, and just starting to gear up.
I'm glad you had a chance to come down, take time out of your busy schedule. Nice things we have going on down here. But like Emerson was saying, he said we have a lot of young coaches coming in, and then he gave you props. He said we have some that also been around that's also changing with the times, and we see that at North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles Co-op. You're changing with the times. You're not sticking with the old routines.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've always kind of thought that we have to be able to adapt to situations, and we have to kind of adapt to the teams that we have. So we always come in with a plan, but that plan sometimes gets thrown out of the window when you come in with a team that can't fit that plan. And you have to adapt to it, whether it's throwing the football, whether it's running speed sweeps, or running the I formation and running power. Trying to figure out what your team does best, and then kind of going with that to let them be successful.
What do we need to make Rhode Island football, Rhode Island sports better as a whole, as a community?
I think we need to kind of come together a little bit more, because a lot of coaches aren't sharing what they should share together. I know we can compete, we can be friends and compete. That's the way that it goes, right? But I think if we can come together more and coach up our kids more, and then we can then come together as far as sending kids out to play at different schools, we'll see that the whole state kind of get better. It's kind of like the old adage that if you play with better, you get better. So if we can get even the smaller schools to come and get better with the better schools, that'll make everybody better, and unfortunately, in Rhode Island, because it's a small state, you want to win championships, and in order to do that, sometimes you have to kind of do your own thing. You have to be separate from everybody. But I think that hurts the state versus helping the state to get better football statewide.
I see that all the time with schools, with coaches, with gyms. Too much hatred going on, and to some of us, it's more about making money. It's more about making the sport as a whole better. We just got a big look with Quiddy Pay. Salute to him. I think what his mom went through was the real story. What it took to get her to this country. She didn't escape one war, 2 wars. And I don't know the distance about how far she traveled, but I know it was just what she had to do for him to really make these steps. Salute to Miss Agnes. What a great story. But bringing up we need to piggyback off that for Rhode Island football to make it better and come together as a whole.
Yeah, and I like that, because good things happen to good people that do good things. You know what I mean? And when we're in this thing together, looking to help each other out, even coaching wise, it doesn't take anything from me to help out a younger coach or to give him some advice, but that coach needs to accept it too, and even them give me advice on something if I'm doing something wrong, or if there's somewhere I could get better, to give me advice and me take it, not being like, oh, I've been coaching much longer than you, what do you know? But actually accepting that and receiving that and making it better, program to program.
Mm-hmm. No, Emerson even said there's things that he learns as an official every game, every time he steps on the field. He said he learns things from things he sees coaches doing, but he also brought up a point that there's a lot of coaches that are not making a lot of halftime adjustments or adjusting to what's going on the field, and you definitely need people around you to help you do that. You can't do it all yourself as a head coach.
I agree. There's always this thought, right, as far as coaches are concerned, right? You have the coaches that have played the game, and now they coach the game, right? And then you have coaches that maybe have never played the game, and now they coach the game. And whether you're one or the other, it really doesn't matter, right? But the one who hasn't coached the game before has to realize that I've never coached the game before, and now I got to get good coaches that know the game around me in order to be successful. And I think sometimes what we see happen is we see people that get jobs for whatever reason that really never played the game, really never know that much about the game, and then they kind of want to do their own thing, and it's a long curve, right, to catch up to the guys that have been around for a long time. So the wise thing to do, if I'm one of those guys and I get a job and I'm like, well, I really never played, but I kind of wanted this job and it fell in my lap, I got to hire good football guys to surround me, and I just got to be an administrator for the most part and let them coach, right, and be successful. But I think the reason why you don't see that those changes happen at halftime and in game changes is that the coaches aren't up to speed, so they don't know, and so because they don't know, they're going to stick with what they know.
Exactly. No, you actually make a good point, because I see fans in the stands, and it was like, and they're calling out plays, and I was like, why are you not down there? Why are you not down there? And then you see other coaches, and you're absolutely right. I'm not saying you have to play football to be a good coach, but what Keith Croft does over at Bishop Hendricken, like what you were talking about, he's the organizer. It seems. And a lot of people, I kind of give him credit for what he's done, what he's built, no matter what, to have that much success. I mean, a lot of people say that, Hendricken's been known to recruit for years. That ain't no secret. His father was a big recruiter as well before him, but I still give what Coach Croft put together at Hendricken, I give him a lot of credit.
Oh, he's put together a great program and a great system, which allows him to be successful year in, year out, right? And that's huge. And that's being wise, knowing that, hey, you know what? Here are the pieces that I need in order to be successful, and I need to bring those pieces in and go out and get those pieces. And I think a lot of coaches, like at the high school level, we seem to think, well, I got what I got. Whatever's given to me, I'm just going to accept it and work with it. But a lot of what happens at the high school level in order to make us successful, it's the same thing that happens at the college level that makes them successful. Same thing happens at the NFL level that makes them successful. It starts with the administration, those people that are up there making the decisions, to be supportive and a part of the program. Then it comes to the AD and those guys who are intimately involved with the program to give the coaches what they need and supply them with the help of whatever they need to be successful. And then it comes to the coach creating an atmosphere, whether it's with the parents, with the community members. I mean, reaching out beyond the football field and saying, hey, I really need your support. I really need you to come alongside us and really root these guys on, so that these players now feel as though not only are they just playing for each other and their parents, but they have a whole community, a whole school, a whole system that's actually rooting them on. And that gives them more confidence and more ability to be successful on the field.
I did a show a few weeks ago, and I tell people, Coach Pennington, I think he's one of my biggest supporters, because he tunes into a lot of my stuff. And I was talking about fatherless homes and mentors. And you have a ministry for men, I noticed. And the stream didn't really get a lot of replay, and it seems like people always want to hear the negative. And how important is it to have mentors in the community for a lot of these kids? Because we do have a record number of fatherless homes.
It's so true. I mean, my ministry, Rally Point Men's Ministry, and the idea is to build the man up, because in our country, we've lost our fathers. A lot of the reason why we find ourselves in a situation that we're in nationwide is because of a lack of fathers. 90% of all women that are incarcerated come from a fatherless home. I think it's somewhere around 80%, to 75 to 80% of all men incarcerated come from a fatherless home. So that tells you something there. So when it comes to these young men coming on the field and needing a mentor, needing someone who's going to present to them what manhood looks like, is so important, so very important. And football is more than about X's and O's. It's about life, and it's about teaching and learning the game of life through the game of football. The losses, the victories, the ups, the downs, the working together, the supporting each other no matter what the situation is. I mean, all of that comes together in order to make these young men into actually the men they're supposed to be, that can benefit their communities, that can actually go out and be great people.
Oh, exactly. I agree. And I've been listening to a lot of Judge Joe Brown lately, and he says we have an attack on toxic masculinity, that we're not training our boys to be men, we're training our boys to be boys, and I know he's kind of vocal on a lot of things, but I kind of understand a lot of what he's saying, because everything's a participation trophy. We don't want to hurt someone's feelings. And these are boys that are going to take over one day, and I think we need to do a better job at mentoring our kids, to be leaders, to be responsible, cognitive thinking, think before you react, because we don't have a lot of that going on.
Yeah, and that's something that these administrators and these the people that are making the choices to hire should think about who we bringing in. Is this person not only is just a good coach with the X's and O's, but is he a good person? Is he a good mentor? Is he gonna be able to raise our young men up into men? And that's, I mean, if you give me a good group of young men, I can win a championship because they're going to bring along all those qualities that I need in order to build a championship program. And so we need to be able to build those guys up. And we think we missed the boat when we're trying to just put good athletes on the field and just try to be smarter than the coach across the field than us. But the reality of it is that if I have good, solid young men on the field, right, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to do what I tell them to do. They're going to run the plays I tell them to run. They're going to execute what I need them to execute. And we're going to be competitive. We're going to have a chance to do great things.
Well, you won a state champion, coach, right? And you was on staff at Central Falls in the state championship.
Yep.
I mean, Felix Fernandez is like, there's no bigger fan than I am of Coach Pennington. That dude really, really, I like Felix. Nice guy. We come from the same neighborhoods, but he's a big fan of yours.
Yeah, no, me and Felix coach together, and so he knows, how we orchestrate things, how we practice, and how we do things, how we treat the kids as well. And I'm a big fan of Felix's too. He's a really good man. But it's always, for me, it's always been about producing quality people, right? And we can do that through the football field. We can do that on the field. Knowing whether someone needs a arm around them, a hug, or knowing someone needs a pat on the back, or someone needs you to kind of get in their butt a little bit, right? We all have different personalities, and the coach needs to kind of be able to maneuver around all of that to understand each player in order to get them to play their best and to be in their best positions.
And as men, we don't know how to communicate with each other. We'll rather say, screw you, I don't want to talk to you no more, than kind of bringing our feelings out. And that's how come there's major wars we see in the streets, because something that is minimum or we just don't know how to say, hey, coach, I'm sorry. I said something stupid.
Yeah.
But thanks, Coach Pennington. Anything you want to add about North Smithfield, Mount St. Charles Co-op? What do you guys got coming up? How's the boys?
I think I love the co-op situation. Mount St. Charles has brought some quality players over and good kids that come over and add to the program. And so we're excited about that co-op program. And, they've actually helped us, because I don't know where we'd be, to be honest with you, without the co-op. So we're excited. We're excited to play football. We're excited to be a part of everything that's going on and to be competitive, and to, for the program to be a program where you come in every year and, there's an excitement, a buzz that happens because you know that you're going to be in the thick of things. And that's all you ask for, and you need to let the ball drop where it falls, and you play the season out, but we're excited about that.
Well, I thank Coach Pennington coming up here to the Yacht Olympics at Goddard Park, man. Earlier we had Coach Gary Goodhart. I just met Gary Goodhart. I think you met him too.
Yeah.
Emerson Kilgore, we're going to do a weekly show with Emerson. Coach Dunbar couldn't make it. He had his thing going down there at Breakthrough, but he's going to do a podcast with me every week after his game. And you're welcome as well if you want to come on and talk about your program, talk about your wins, your losses, whatever happened. I think we need to pick up all these schools because, we have Brown's doing a great job recruiting now, bringing in the coach, and now you just brought in Gary Quayway. You have Cy Butler up there at Bryant. Congratulations to Cy Butler. No one works harder than Ryan McCormick. I mean, Ryan McCormick, what a job UMass Dotman's doing, building an indoor facility. They're about to break ground for that. They have an indoor freshman dorm. So Rhode Island football is definitely stepping up as a whole. Coach Pennington, man, hopefully we'll see him at Cranston Stadium this year, holding that big trophy up again. And
that'd be awesome.
Let's get together, and we're gonna do this again soon at 401 at Emerson's place, nice air conditioned place.
Nice.
I would like to do what I originally wanted, have a nice little round table and let the coaches hold a nice discussion, man. But we'll definitely talk to Coach Pennington pretty soon. Coach Pennington, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
That's right. And check out his ministries. What is it again?
It's rallypointmensministry.org. Yeah, check it out. I mean, and also for you guys that like barbecue, go to the barbecue page and you'll see some good stuff on there.
I seen pictures on Facebook. I was like, yo, I'm coming. And even Emerson said, he seen my comments and he said, oh, I seen what you said about Coach Pennington. I said, what? I said, oh my God, he's a big guy. I don't want to mess with him. He said, oh no, about the barbecue. And I said, oh yeah, I think he might hold the award for the best barbecues in the state. So we're all gonna have to creep by his house one day. We'll have a big live stream right from the house.
There you
Coach
go.
Pennington,
Yes.
thank you. Be safe out there
Thank
on
you.
the job.
Yeah,
I know
thank
you
you.
have a tough job. So
Thank you.
you know, definitely God bless you, God bless your family, all your players, man, and all the people in the Interscholastic League, you know.
Awesome.
I don't mean any hate. A lot of people don't like things I say, you know, but hey, it is what it is. People need to be held accountable.
Truth is truth.
EWD Coach Fortin was in here today. We had Coach Pennington, Emerson Kilgore. So we'll talk to you later. Thank you for the TitleTown for letting us use their stream, and we'll see you guys later. Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Talked about this momentarily before. I'm not sure what Ron's doing, but I do believe that everyone is invited to. It's good that you bring up about coaching located just down the street from Goddard Park. I think because we weren't able to have alcoholic beverages over here, I think me and Ron may go have a beer. So anybody who can. Does that sound good? Hey, I just want to say thanks for staying. Thanks for coming. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun. You know, let's just do it again next year, and hopefully we make it a little bigger and crazier. Congratulations to Marcus and Braden for winning. Congratulations to Nick and Braden, right, for coming in second. I mean, that's like huge.
Okay, TitleTown Throwdown. We're right back here after the interview by Mike from Can We Keep It Real podcast. And you know, me kindly, I offered my my show tune so that we can fix this. All this will be edited down at some point, so that way you can all hear my mouth. All right. So before I get to the Harry stuff, I do want to present to everyone with this week's TitleTown Play of the Week. I don't have a sponsor for this. I want to get one. I will work on that. But let me give you a little bit of the backstory on this. This guy just got called up from AAA. He only had he's in second career at bat. Okay, so this was the Nationals and the Padres. Padres are kicking the Nationals' ass 8-0 at one point. It was 8-2 and this happened. Reliever Daniel Camarena. He had probably the biggest moment that he is ever going to have, and we're probably not going to see this for a while. Former Boston Red Sox play-by-play commentator Nelson Darnacillo orchestrated this beautiful call. And this was off Max Scherzer, too.
Camarena to deep right field. Camarena plays it. Slam Diego. Are you kidding me? The Padres pitcher that just brought up from El Paso, the San Diego kid. It's a grand slam. That's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Off Max Scherzer.
All right, we'll save that highlight for next week, having some internet connection issues here. That's right, so we'll replay this next week when we have a little bit stronger of a connection. All right, so I do want to get to N'Keal Harry. All right, and this is how I'm going to wrap up the show. We've been doing this for a while. The interviews took a little longer than we all expected, but that's okay. So we're trying to get to some other NFL headlines, but we'll get to those next week as training camp does approach a little bit quicker. All right, so N'Keal Harry, he has requested a trade. My question is this: who the hell wants your dumbass? All right, first off, 86 targets throughout your whole career so far, 44 receptions. Want to know why you have only 86 targets? Because you can't get open. You've been open only 25% of the routes that you have ran. And you can barely catch the damn thing. So N'Keal Harry and his agent have requested a trade. His agent comes out. This is the comical part of it all. His agent comes out saying, well, we're not getting the results that we expect to hear when the Patriots first drafted us, and they really played down my client. Dude, that's because your client sucks. He can't get open. He can't catch the ball. He can't even hold on to the ball. I still firmly remember week 1 last year against the Miami Dolphins. He was holding the ball like it was a loaf of bread. He gets tackled by a safety. The dude can't run. He gets outran by a safety and tackles. Fumbles the football, goes out of the end zone. Patriots lose out on a touchdown. And Bill Belichick, the supposed genius that he is, gives this up. He wastes the 32nd overall, number 32, first round on this clown, and he's resulted to nothing. That is a big L for Bill Belichick right there and drafting, but naturally, what do you expect from Bill Belichick, though, in his very genius drafts? N'Keal Harry hasn't amounted to absolutely anything. His agent thinks he's all that in a cup of coffee. He's not. So what is N'Keal Harry's trade value? Who the hell knows? You're going to get a 6th round, 7th round pick for him at best. I'd sell him off for a bucket of freaking footballs and call it a day, or a bag of footballs, whatever the hell you want to call it. I really don't give a damn. That's what N'Keal Harry is worth. He's not worth anything, and you wasted a 1st round pick on him. Now, look, would it change theory? Maybe do him some good? Yeah. Will it really help Bill Belichick's cause when it comes to drafting him? No. He never fit the system. He never truly could get open. Brady never looked his way because the guy couldn't get open, and he couldn't catch the ball when Brady did look his way. So, it comes down to the quarterback. Quarterback had nothing to do with it in 2019. He just couldn't get open. 2020 had quarterback that could barely throw 5 yards down the field without any interceptor to bat it down or anything. And again, you still could not get open. You tweedle flipping dummy. And but no, N'Keal Harry is supposed to be all that in a bag of chips. No, N'Keal Harry has amounted to nothing. He's going to amount to nothing in his entire career. So at best, you're going to get is a 6th round pick for him, at the very least, because that's how Bill Belichick operates. Bill Belichick thinks that you need that talent in the later rounds. No, you need to get legit, actual talent here, and you don't have that talent. So I don't know what to do here with N'Keal Harry. Good luck to Bill Belichick trying to trade him, and good luck trying to find any suitors. There'll be some teams that'll be dumb enough to willing to take them, like maybe Washington and Arizona, or maybe at Jacksonville. But if you think you're gonna get any more than a 6th round pick, you're delusional. And that's really what it comes down to. Okay, so we're gonna have a much more full non-abbreviated version of the TitleTown Throwdown next week. This week got a little caught off guard, but live on location. This has been a blast, though. I did have a blast, though, doing this here on location. We'll be back in the office next week. So, TitleTown Throwdown. I'm Nick LeBlanc saying so long from Goddard Park here in Warwick, Rhode Island, and we will talk to you next week.